grill.
Hey, welcome back. This is part one of a two-part series looking at mixed in key. The first part is a little bit of a review and a setup for mixed in key, and in part two we're going to show you how to integrate it with Traktor since there's some additional steps. What does mixed in key do? The primary purpose is for mixed in key to find the key of your song. This is important so that you can, if you're mixing two different songs, if they're in the same key or same key family, then they'll be harmonically mixed and it'll sound good. You know, sometimes if you're DJing and you don't have access to mixed in key, you might find yourself mixing two songs together and there's something about it that sounds amazing. And you might be like, well, why is that? And then you might take two different songs and they just sound horrible. Even though the genre is the same, the BPM or tempo is the same, they just don't sound good together. Using mixed in key, you can guarantee or get pretty close to making sure that you know the key of each song, and also it can give you some suggestions for how to mix your next song. Before we dig into mixed in key directly, it's worth taking a minute or two looking at the Camelot wheel. This is the Camelot system. If you're not using the Camelot system and you're just looking at the key, you might have a song that gets analyzed and it will say, okay, well, it's D flat minor. So what other songs can I mix with them that will sound good? Well, unless you have a chart of some sort, you'd have to remember, okay, well, I'd have to remember that it's F sharp minor would go with a D flat minor, or an A flat minor would go with it, or an E major. If you got a lot of stuff going on, that could be a lot of information to remember. So the Camelot system makes it very, very easy. It's based on a numbering system of 1 to 12, and then A and B, where A is all the minor keys, and B's are all the major keys. And so how does it work? Well, let's take our D flat minor. In the Camelot system, that represents a 12A. And what can I mix with that? Well, it's easy. I can go one backwards, so it's 11A, or I can go one forward, which is 1A, or I can stay within the 12 family, and it's 12B. So typically, any songs that are, again, typically in the same genre, pretty close in the tempo, it should mix fairly well and sound pretty good. Let's take another example. Let's say, for example, I have a song and it comes out as an A minor. Well, in the Camelot system, what will mix well with it? Well, obviously anything that's an 8A, you go one backwards, 7A, or one forward, 9A, or you can stay with an 8 and 8B. So typically speaking, again, any songs that are within that within that system will match, and therefore I don't have to remember if I'm an A minor that, oh yeah, I can also mix with stuff that's a C major or an E minor or a D minor. It's really easy. I go one, subtract one, or add one to the number. I can stay within A, or in this case, I can stay with 8 and then add the B, and I'm good. And that's the Camelot system. Very, very easy to use. You don't have to know a whole lot of theory or music theory to make this system work. So it's very easy. And I've been using this system almost for as long as I've been DJing. And like I said, do you have to use, by the way, do you have to use this Camelot system all the time? No. There's a lot of times where I'll just go in and I want to mix, and I won't use this system at all. This is just another tool to add to your bag of tricks. And when it does work, it works really, really well. So how does this system work? Well, it's pretty easy. If we go into, we have some songs that we've downloaded. We'll take this and we just simply drag and drop into the system, and you can see that it will process it. This one looks like it was already pre-processed. In this case, I'll wait until it finishes. Now you'll notice this error. This error comes up because I'm in the Traktor system. I have Traktor open, so I can't save the cue point, so that's a problem. So what kind of information does it give you? Well, it can determine or get pretty close to the tempo. Here's the primary thing that we're trying to do, is we're trying to get the key result. So if I were trying to mix songs out of here, I could mix these two songs here because they're both in the same key. They're pretty close. And I think in version 7, we're looking at mixed in key 8. Mixed in key version 7 started looking at the energy. So that also can be helpful. Something new that it started to do, and also the last version, was cue points. I will say, as it relates to the cue points, in version 7, I didn't really like the way that mixed in key determined the cue points, and so I turned this functionality off. In version 8, I don't know what they've done, but out of the box, it does a really, really nice job of coming up with cue points, and it's usually pretty close to what I would do. And you'll see that when I do the integration piece, do some tests. This is, we can see the genre. Now, I normally do my ratings once I start to edit my cue points in Traktor, but I can, if I were editing cue points here, so let's see. That's a good one. Actually, that's a pretty good one too. You'll notice here it shows you kind of the energy. Here, the energy level of the song underneath. Let's see here. Let's go up here. Now, if it's me, I probably would want to put a cue point here. So one way is you can just move the cue points around to where you need them. The one thing I wish this system had, if this could have an improvement, is I wish it would show the actual beat grids. That would be super, super helpful. It gets pretty close. So you can tell that one's awesome. You can see I've deleted it, and I can add the cue point here. So there's a couple of different ways to get cue points in this system. Down here it shows you the key, the energy, the song itself, how long it is. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, although you can do the same thing with your mouse wheel. There's a piano, which is also kind of cool. So you can, if for some reason you don't know, or you're not sure if the key is correct, you can that's essentially it. One of the things that's kind of interesting is you might say to yourself, well, Traktor now comes with key analysis, Serato comes with key analysis, Rekordbox the same thing. There's a bunch of differences. You can buy songs where the key analysis has been performed. And so why would I use mixed in key? Well, let's take a look. I check this out on a fairly regular basis. DJ Tech Tools, which is a website for DJs that I go to actually pretty often, they regularly do a key detection software comparison. So this is from 2015. I'm not going to read through the whole things, but here are some of the competitors. Beatport, 61%, Serato DJ, 70%, which actually isn't pretty good. But keep in mind, if you're doing 100 songs in Serato, 30 of those songs are not going to be, the key's not going to be correct. Mixed in keys 7 and 6, it's 86%. So out of 100 songs, maybe 14 of them are not going to be correct. Virtual DJ only is 41%. Old version of Rekordbox is 52%. It does improve with Rekordbox 4.0 or Rekordbox DJ, which is at 70%. And Traktor Pro 2.10 is only 47%. So that means if you're using Traktor Pro to do your key analysis, over 50 of those songs are not going to be in the right key. So you're not going to be mixing harmonically. It's more of a guessing game. You got a 50% chance that it's going to be correct. And here at the end, mixed in key 6 and 7 are the same, but they're the best. So yes, for me, I want to get as close to accurate as I possibly can. Mix and key continues to be a leader in this particular field, which is one reason why I continue to use it. That's essentially it. When you go into your software, so open up Traktor very quickly. It's important that normally you'll see that the key is here. That's not what we want. So I turn off that. You want to turn on the key text. And there you go. The one thing I have to find out, and if you're seeing this and you have figured this out, it doesn't always have it's supposed to fill out the key text and the energy level in the comments. When you import the cue points, for some reason it doesn't always do that. So I have to figure out why that is. And the other thing is, if we put this in, I have this set up so that it shows the key here. You might even, I've seen people put it there too. It's a pretty easy process to determine TrackDex. Oh. You can change all of that information under TrackDex, and here you can see that I've got it set to key text. That's it. Okay, so with that, I am going to call it a day. So yes, mixed in key is definitely something that is critical to my workflow when I'm setting up all of my songs to be played. You can see it in use in getting ready to DJ series that I've been working on, and also in part 2 I'll show you how to integrate it with Traktor. Cheers.